Putin has said that Russia is currently experiencing difficult times. The Kremlin currently has no hope for a peaceful resolution in Ukraine. On Tuesday, Russian President Vladimir Putin told an audience that his country was enduring difficult times due to the ongoing invasion of Ukraine, but that national pride was increasing despite the situation. Putin told an award ceremony on Tuesday, as reported by state news agency TASS, "Yes, Russia is going through difficult times now. Things have never been easy, but, still, today we are seeing a moment of our common consolidation, with our national pride being sharpened." Meanwhile, Putin's press secretary Dmitry Peskov said on Wednesday that the conditions for a peaceful settlement of the conflict in Ukraine do not yet exist, so the Kremlin is saying it's too soon to talk about one. Reporters pressed Peskov for an answer to the question of which peace proposals came closest to Russia's position, and he said, "As long as conditions for a peaceful settlement are not met, it is too soon to discuss this." Russia's unprovoked invasion of its neighbor is being called a special military operation, and it continues. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said on Wednesday that Russia would respond extremely harshly to any further attacks by fighters entering its territory from Ukraine. Russian military officials claimed on Tuesday that they had successfully repelled an armored vehicle attack on a border region with Ukraine the day before, killing more than 70 so-called Ukrainian nationalists, and driving the rest back into Ukraine. According to comments made by Shoigu to officials in the defense ministry and later published by the ministry, he promised that Russia would continue to respond swiftly and extremely harshly to attacks from Ukrainian militants. State media on Wednesday quoted Chinese President Xi Jinping as saying that China and Russia should increase their economic, trade, and investment cooperation as well as their cooperation in the energy sector. During a meeting with Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin in Beijing, Xi reportedly said that China is willing to continue supporting issues concerning core interests it shares with Russia. Both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Moscow's top diplomat Sergei Lavrov have pointed fingers at the West for fostering an unsafe and unstable world. As Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues, Putin warned on Wednesday that the world was becoming more unstable and that new centers of tension are emerging. Putin, speaking at a security summit in Russia, blamed rising instability on nations and groups trying to preserve, retain their dominance, impose their own rules, completely ignoring the sovereignty, national interests, traditions of other states. There is also, he said, an attempt to extract unilateral advantages from the energy and food crises provoked by a number of Western states, as well as a buildup of military potential, and unceremonious interference in the internal affairs of other countries. At the same forum, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov claimed that NATO weapons destined for Ukraine were being spread beyond Ukraine's borders in an effort to inflict a strategic defeat on Russia. The West as a whole makes no secret of its desire to deal us a strategic loss. NATO is pumping up the Kyiv regime to use it as a battering ram against Russia. Meanwhile, he said, part of the Western supplies, and an increasing part of it, are spreading uncontrollably around the world. TASS reported this. Russia invaded Ukraine 15 months ago in an effort to reinstate its hegemony over the former Soviet Republic and topple the pro-Western government in Kyiv. To aid Ukraine in its defense against its neighbor, the West has come together to provide it with military and financial aid.